Dude, we got Slikey in the chat. How long have you been here? Dude, Slikey, we're excited, man. I've been trying to speak about things very accurately to people and put things in a really good perspective so everybody kind of understands the deeper meaning behind everything. It is fun just to look at the surface level of a lot of this stuff and like, oh, that's pretty. Oh, that's cool. But I think understanding the whole game plan that goes beyond it is where a lot of the excitement should be for most people. Maybe Slikey can answer this question for us. We had one question, Slikey. I think you could probably answer this for us that we were unsure about. Honestly, the rest of the blog was so good. I didn't come up with a lot of questions that were like, hey, this thing confuses me. I don't understand it. But there was this one part, okay? So when Hytale changes from version 1 to version 2 world gen, so like when you guys actually make the hard switch, I'm not talking about the soft switches with the portals and such. I'm talking about hard switch from one to another. You guys said V1 would no longer generate. So what I was unsure of was, does that mean pre-existing worlds, the worlds we're making come next Tuesday, will still be there and still be playable, but they'll be stuck forever in V1? And like, will they no longer kind of get any updates at all? And then that old world generation will stop occurring. So will we have like these kind of like these hard borders that we bump up against where like we can't go any further because we can't generate V1 stuff anymore? Do you guys have any plan for a conversion? I would assume probably not. It sounds like unnecessary work for a pre-release game, but I think it's a question worth asking. Is there going to be any sort of a way to convert your V1 world to V2 in some way, or import it or something like that? We're gathering questions at the moment, especially regarding the forever worlds, and give a proper explanation for it. Okay, you will have forever saves, but maybe different worlds. So like we would still have our V1 world, but maybe at some point we're not able to continue that world effectively anymore because the world V2 comes out and we can't generate V1 stuff there anymore. I think it's fine either way. Like, I think it's just one of those things where as long as players know, which is good that you guys are working up something, as long as players know, like, hey, like this world, one day, 6 months, a year from now, whatever timeline it might fall in, like, I won't have this world to like update and continue playing in a like generative way anymore. I think people will be fine with it. It's just mostly people knowing, maybe even some sort of disclaimer that pops up when you create your new world wouldn't be a bad idea. This world is created with World Gen version 1. And while we transition to World Gen version 2, when that releases, terrain in this generation, blah, 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 blah. I think you get where I'm going with it. I don't know. Just might not be a bad idea because you know how people are. Like some people just, they never get informed. And then like they'll just be one day be like, why doesn't my world work anymore? Slikey being here makes me want to pop open the, I really don't think I had many questions, but I kind of want to like pop open the blog post really quick. I mean, I don't want to take you away from your work, so don't feel obligated to like sit here and like chat for too long. I'm happy to have you for any amount of time that you're here. We went through and explained the way the nodes worked, which was really cool. I was trying to explain how that works to people. Oh, I have a kind of question, Slikey. We've noticed that all of the water that generates in the world, it all looks like it generates on the same Y level. Do you foresee in World Gen V2 where I know like there's mention of waterfalls possibly in the future, right? I was wondering, at some point, might we see a world where, like in this scene right here, for example, where the water back here is maybe higher than it is down here in terms of its like Y level. Therefore, there's actually like a flow to it. Or will it likely stay all flat so the player gets to kind of imagine the flow to be whatever they want and they don't have that type of mechanic to like have to worry about, if that makes sense? Yeah, absolutely. Water in the game currently is not even V1. It is horrible and bad. There's so much to do. Okay, cool. So basically, like even what we're seeing here is like you guys haven't messed with the water a whole lot. So we'll probably expect to see more interesting water dynamics or mechanics and such in the future. That's cool. Dude, these graphics right here are sick, man. Let me tell you, the guys that you guys have working on the graphic engine here, these reflections look great. As does the volumetric fog that gets generated for the background at render distance, and the fog that you guys have like around like water sources is really cool. Okay, I'm gonna ask for a very specific question. This is like giving us some info of something we were unsure about. I don't know if you can answer this or not. I think you probably can. This screenshot, blog_Hedera. Where is this? Because we were assuming maybe this is either a biome that's blending zone 3 to zone 4, or it's a biome in zone 4, because it has an apocalyptic type look to it. This looks like all swampland through here. You have this giant dead tree. We've done technical R&D on actual currents and rivers. Let's check in 3 years. Okay. Like, how's the game loop right now? Will we be able to play for 12 hours and have fun, or will it be empty? So I'm assuming you're asking that for like EA release, like on the 13th. Will I be able to play the game for 12 hours and still have fun? I think my answer to that for Slikey would probably be, it depends on what you like doing, but 12 hours isn't long. Like, you probably won't be able to explore all the zones and like see everything in 12 hours. So I imagine that there's probably going to be several dozen hours worth of fun for the average player right off the rip. And depending on how much you like to build and how much you like to just like explore the same stuff in like different ways over and over again, your gameplay will probably be extended longer. And then if you can last like a couple weeks, a few weeks, you'll start to see it's like some more and more complex mods, and maybe some servers start to pop up that will offer varying experiences that will probably keep you more interested in the game, while the core team works on the core game and adds like new features and new updates and new progression and all that stuff to the base game. And then you'll have like they'll drop an update once a month or something, and then that'll be the thing that like pulls you back in to be interested to jumping into the vanilla side of the game again. And then once you feel like you've done that, then you might go back to some of the modded stuff. And I think there'll be that little bit of a tug of war for probably the first year, would be my guess, for some people. Now, a message from today's video sponsor, Picnic, the new Hytale modding platform that is already onboarding creators and modders ahead of early access. If you're planning to make mods, run servers, or just want to be part of the Hytale modding scene from day one, go to picnic.gg or click the link in the description below to claim your profile now. I think the old dev team from Riot had no ill will. They played the cards they were dealt and had investors breathing down their backs for years. Yeah, we're not gonna project too much on those guys. Obviously, like, they were all really good people and they all did their best. It just sounds like maybe there was some internal ambitions of the system itself and the game itself to make it so good and such a thing, and Riot probably just wanting like, hey, like, just when you get a fully done product, like, let us know and that's when we'll put it out, to where it just ended up getting extended so long. I'm sure what they were working towards was quite spectacular, but it happens sometimes with games, man. It's easy in any profession or any way to like bite off more than you can chew and not really realize it. And it's probably just what happened. But just because like the last 4 years of game engine stuff isn't being used doesn't mean that all of that time was wasted, because a lot of stuff was still generated and made for the new engine, or for the new engine from the old engine. And there's probably a lot of concept stuff and et cetera, that they have access to. So I'm sure not all of it's gone to waste. There's little bits, they can pick little bits and pieces from it. You know what I mean? Happy Wheel said, Slikey, from what I'm understanding from the blog post, is WorldGen V1 completely finished now and full focus is on V2? WorldGen V1 is not finished. It is a prototype. We have ceased major development, but we may fix issues, add balancing updates to the configs, etc. Like we need it for exploration. Yeah, so like it's done enough, I guess, is the answer. But full development is going towards V2, and V1 is just being kind of polished to make it more functional in the meantime. Like V1 has to carry us to V2. Once we go to adventure mode, we can switch fully over to V2. There you go. It sounds like that's a long roadmap too, to get all the way to V2 and adventure mode. I imagine we're probably talking like upwards of a couple years, right? Slikey, were you able to answer for me where this is from? Blink once if zone 3, blink twice if zone 4. Like V1 will have crazy bugs. You will see floating things, bad artifacts, etc. You will sometimes feel like you're in the far lands. Okay, that's funny, but that's fine. I'm okay with that. I like what you guys did. I was explaining to everybody how the portals worked because a lot of people didn't understand that. Here it is. So a lot of people just like inherently didn't understand like how you guys were incorporating V2 into the early game. So I did explain to people how these portals right here are taking you to, I guess, the echoes of Orbis or whatever, which are these experiences in the game that are going to have V2 World Gen in them. No comment on Hedera. Okay, I'll respect that. So it sounds to me like, Slikey, can you tell me if I'm right here? Continually between now and throughout the early access development, you guys will likely add in different experiences that you can get to via these portals, and that will be your way of implementing elements of V2 World Gen and possibly testing it with us, the player base, to see how we like it, what kind of issues it may have, what people's feedback is on it, and that sort of thing. So we may get, quote unquote, like somewhat like irregular or regular updates that add new portal locations in or change whatever like generative type areas that we can get to from them. Sounds reasonable, I would say, but obviously I won't confirm or deny it. It is kind of a spoiler, so okay. Will Hytale have a way to give feedback or suggest features in Hytale itself? That's a good question. Will you guys have like an in-game way for people to submit bug reports and feedback? Or is that stuff going to be in the Discord? Or is it going to be via website? Do you know what the plan is for feedback submission? Like, will we have like some kind of button somewhere here? Bug feedback or something? Yeah, we are mostly focusing on bug reports for now. It will be in game, in Discord, in X, in Reddit, in YouTube, etc. Oh man, I feel bad for the person that has to put all of that together. But yeah, obviously it sounds like you guys would want to get it from everywhere. So cool. So there you go, guys. You'll have some type of like button in game for bug reports for now. I imagine, like, I don't know what you guys' plans are, Slikey. Whoops. Might that be a bad idea to like maybe have some type of like forum type thing? You know how you guys have this right here? Just in the Discord for like suggestions, because I know people are going to want to like throw stuff out there at you. So it might be a kind of like easy way to like allow people to get that out of their system without bogging down your other areas with it. At least just in Discord, super easy. You could throw that up in like 5 minutes versus like having to create a whole system for it maybe later on where you guys track it more accurately. I have one last question. When can we gift Hytale to others? I talked to Budacat about that. He said he was going to look into it for me and let me know, because I was hoping to get copies of Hytale myself. Maybe I'll like buy them or whatever and give out on release day. But we don't know. They don't have it yet. They are working on it. I don't know if it's going to be there by early access launch or not. Okay, let's keep up with chat here. So Happy Wheels asks Slikey, another question if you can answer. I have a game show in Minecraft that runs entirely on command blocks. Will there be a way to do quote unquote command blocks in Hytale, in world, not just scripts? Slikey said, I refer to the modding blog post and specifically the 3D visual scripting. I hate command blocks because the commands are giga complex, need to use web tools, etc. Interesting. Okay. Command blocks they're stupidly like crazy complex. I rarely ever use them, so I don't know a lot about them. But it looks like Hytale will have its own method of doing that. It's more of an integrated part of the game rather than some kind of janky command block thing that's added in that you can just like insert commands in block form. I'll try to answer some of these questions for you too, Slikey, because I know you're getting like bombarded. And if I answer it right, then you can let me know or let them know, or not feel like you don't need to answer. How full-fledged will the in-game mod browser be, or will we still be using CurseForge alongside of it? It sounded to me like from Simon, the intention is for it to be a full-fleshed, like fleshed out mod browser. And I think what it'll end up being is like modders themselves will be able to choose where they put their stuff. I don't know what type of potential verification, whatever process that maybe the Hytale team may want to have for mods. So I don't know if like will everything get through to end game or will stuff get filtered out? I'm not really quite sure. But there will be a lot of modding websites. I've talked to a few people in the community that are making some. They already have the infrastructure like together for it. But I do think ultimately they do want you to be able to fully use the in-game browser if that's the way you want to do it. Slikey is awesome. Yeah, dude, I appreciate you coming here and just answering questions for the community. I'm trying to read a lot of them so everybody that's maybe listening and not talking or listening and not looking can get see the answers. Karo said, also question, if we make a world in World Gen V1, when World Gen V2 comes out, will new chunks be generated in World Gen V2 or we have to start a new world? That was kind of answered in the blog post. It sounds like, and Slikey said there's going to be another post or detail maybe on Twitter or something that comes out from them that more specifically details what they're going to do. As of right now, it sounds like you can probably expect your initial world with V1 to not really continue into V2, but we'll see when we get the more complete answer. Okay, Abel said, Slikey, I really hope you understand how much it means for the community that you as a developer is here interacting with the community. This is what makes Hytale unique. I won't read the last part because I don't want to throw shade at anybody, but yes, I do like that interaction. We've had this a couple times now. Simon came in when we were watching that one video and kind of gave us a lot of his response to it, and me and him went back and forth. Slikey hopping in here to like chit chat for a bit is definitely awesome. We do appreciate it very much. Slikey said, I usually pick one notable community member stream every time we pick a blog post and spend an hour. We wouldn't be here without your resilience. Spending time with y'all is an honor. Heck yeah, dude, we appreciate it. I'm glad you stopped by for sure. But now with Hytale coming out, I did start paying attention to Hytale when it was first announced back in the day. Like I saw the initial video when it first came out, and I read all the blog posts when they came out. I never really interacted too much. I just kind of like sat back from afar as a fan watching. When Hytale's cancellation was announced, and I saw the very first posts of people trying to get Simon to like get it back, I was full in at that moment, because you could just see from Simon's first posts like how passionate he was to want to get it back. And it's one of those things where like I kind of already bought into the game. Like I knew the game was going to be good and fun. I knew I was going to try it out when it came out, and I knew like I may potentially like it a lot. But I think what sells it is like you kind of see the people behind the game. Slikey's another example of this. Simon's a great example of that. Obviously, he's the most vocal. Slikey's probably the second most vocal of everybody on the team. And then other people on the team I've seen have been great too. But it's easy to then get behind the dev team and say, hey, like not only do I think the game's cool, but like these guys know what they're doing and they have passion. Like I like this. So since I saw Simon started to trying to get it back and people were egging him on, I was full in, and I paid attention to everything. And I'm all the way in. I've made more Hytale videos than Minecraft videos in the last 2 months, which not everybody of my audience likes, but hey, we got a question from Remore here. Slikey, so mob spawns aren't simple then. That's good. I'm kind of hoping that we won't see mob farms become a staple of Hytale playthroughs like they did for Minecraft. Different games after all. We'll see how it works. I mean, me being a Minecraft person and a farm person in Minecraft, I'm partial to that. It doesn't mean that Hytale has to have that or I'm not going to be interested, because I'll definitely still be interested. But if they have their own way of doing it, I think that would be really cool and fun. Because I like the concept of like having to spend a lot of time and effort to build up something that does stuff for you automatically. Because it makes my brain, like it gives my ADHD brain a lot of satisfaction to do that. But it doesn't mean they have to do it like Minecraft does it. It doesn't have to be these like specific spawn, don't spawn rules and manipulate this exact thing, that exact thing to do it. But if they have their own way to create it, that would be fun. Okay, Slikey's answering a question by Silver Fox. Slikey, hypothetical, how complex can enemies be taken to the extreme max? So like what's the most complex you can make them is what he's asking. And Slikey responded, very, but it's hard to configure. We're working on the roadmap to really develop best tools to make big bosses and crazy complex enemies without a lot of technical knowledge. That'll be good. Yeah, that's when like we've talked about the node system some here, but I guess that's where like your node based system is really going to like come in handy. So this is a terrible screenshot of it, but it was easy to pull. But like I can see this node based system allowing for complex behaviors from mods once they get this thing fully expanded, because you can just keep adding new nodes and creating new nodes and making it wider or deeper. Like you guys see what we did for World Gen V2 in terms of creative folks. We want to do this for NPCs too. Yeah, it makes sense. I'm down with the vision. I know a lot of people, especially like when people, because you're going to have it, right? At some point, people are going to start coming from the Minecraft modded scene more and more. And they're definitely going to come across things that like they can't quite do in Hytale, at least not yet, because of how like, I know it's not the right word for it, but I'm not a programmer, but like open source almost that Minecraft is, like how much they can tap into every little thing, client and server side. But sometimes what I'm trying to help people kind of understand a little bit when they're thinking about mods is it just because a modder maybe can't do a very specific thing they're trying to do, as a player, you're probably not going to, like for players, you're not going to know that really. You're just going to know that the mod does something really cool that's fun and is engaging. And you're not going to really know the back end of it of, oh, well, they had to cut this one thing or they had to do this one thing differently because that capability isn't there yet. And this node system, it seems like it'll add a level of detail to where you can tie like all these different things together in bundles or chains of events or whatever, to where modders are going to actually be able to do quite a lot without a whole lot. Slikey, what is your favorite way of playing Hytale? Yeah, what type of Hytale player are you, Slikey? Do you like the PvP? Do you like PvE? Do you like building? Do you like, what is your thing? What is your deal? So like I said, Prowl, I'm a social cozy player. Usually I'm an automation player with Create, Factorio, etc. Ah, interesting. Okay. See, I always play, I play Bedrock Edition Minecraft, so we don't have like the big mods. I tried playing Create, I couldn't get into it. If you're looking for a really cool mod on the Minecraft side, maybe not for you. This would probably be for something I think Simon would maybe like more. Is Vault Hunters. I played a lot of that. But my play style of Minecraft has always been, I'm a farm builder. I like to like learn the game mechanics. Okay, how does this work? How does that work? How can I exploit this one thing? And okay, now how can I all put it all together to like get all the stuff that I need? I usually make a farm to make a farm to make a farm to make a farm. You know what I mean? And then that's like how my worlds end up building up with like all this really cool stuff. Maybe while we sit here and talk to Slikey, I can like pull up and show you guys like some of my old worlds. I have a problem with restarting worlds, so you're not going to see anything crazy impressive, but I have like some cool stuff that I've done. Okay, I'm going to keep up with chat though. Eric said NPC V2 is huge. Imagine soon Hytale's opening 15 spots for NPC designers. I don't know, they'll need 15 spots for NPC designers, but I think the sentiment is right for sure. It's like you said, we wish at the moment it's too hard to scale a team this much, but I really want that to be a reality. Yeah, it's kind of hard too, because the more you scale and the bigger you get, the harder it becomes to do things to an extent. Slikey, will it be possible to make a RTS mod in Hytale? I feel comfortable saying yes to that. It seems like that'll be very possible. It seems like that will be very possible. Even like early-ish, but especially later on. I think the primary block for that is to have a point and click controls. I added that to a roadmap yesterday for camera input modding. Yeah, that'd be a good idea. I mean, a lot of these games will, a lot of these top-down like ARPG style games, they do involve like, oh, well, they said RTS. So that's more like, okay, he said like StarCraft. Interesting. Dude, a StarCraft-ish like game or Age of Empires, something would be really cool. But ARPG games will probably be possible too. Yeah, the point and click thing will be important. You guys kind of already have that a little bit in creative, right? The way that like the tracking works in creative mode for clicking and doing certain things. Selecting terrain. So it seems like you have some of the technical side of the, like, the engine has some of that technical capability already. So here's one of my my like quote unquote modded worlds. It's just like a block add-on. It's nothing crazy, and a biome add-on. While those are still just first person controls, which you can grab and pull, but still crosshair based. Need something to control using free canvas clicking. Okay, got it. That makes sense. Okay. So here's like my more recent world. And anyways, I was saying that like I need something to inspire me to build things. I can't just like think I want to build a house and build a house, and I want to build a church and I build a church. Like that's not how my brain works when I play Minecraft. I have to have like a purpose for things. So a storage system, I need to build around it. An iron farm, I need to build around it. A trading hall, I need to build. A farm for crops, I need to build. Like that's kind of how I work. So all my stuff that I build and I make is always functional. All right. Anyways, so this is an iron farm down here, and then the drops go down, come up, and then come to this chest right here, where the copper golem then grabs them out and sorts them. And I have like some redstone that locks these chests, but the copper golem sorts them. So I get to sit back here and watch him sort them. And then the iron gets auto crafted into iron blocks. The poppies get composted, made into bone meal, and then the bone meal auto crafts into bone blocks. And then we get the string, and that gets sorted into there too. But yeah, like you see how it works, like they just spawn in down there. And then these are all of my little trading areas that I've sectioned out separate from each other. Just in different groups for trading different things. And then this is like my crop farm area where I have a villager in each pod and they just go through farming crops. Keep in mind, Hytale, Simon said one of the things Hytale may do is have like NPC based farming. So this is kind of like how that could potentially work, right? Where you hopefully you don't have to enclose them in like you do in Minecraft, but like you have like NPCs running around and doing stuff for you, and then all of that stuff gets carted up here and goes in the chests, etc. That's kind of all I have in this world. I'm going to show you something like really large and impressive. Will Hytale have boats? I don't think we've seen any, but I think that's probably a safe assumption. Slikey did say earlier they haven't really messed with the water a lot, so stuff like boats and things of that nature probably haven't been done much yet. So my biggest thing here is this. This is my storage area that I dug out and built. So this is a multi-item sorter system. This whole thing is one big multi-item sorter. I dug all this out by hand, by the way. This is not TNT. And then this is my bulk item sorting on this level. Likey, how will unlocking the in-game map work? At least from what it looked like in the gameplay footage we saw, it looked like you just open your map and it's proximity based, like you uncover the map as you go. And I didn't finish this, but this is going to be a 360 furnace super smelter. It actually was functional, or is functional. I was getting to the point where I was decorating it before I ended up stopped playing here. And then also in this world, this was like my big like multi-farm building. Again, I only got a couple layers of it in, but we have the bamboo farm there and the crop farm here, one of each crop type. And then I never got to sugarcane. And then this is going to be the giant like sorting system. So you'll see like where all the water goes through and goes past the item sorters, and then everything kind of goes into its own little spot. Bamboo comes here. This was before the auto crafter. And I had cactus planned, sugarcane planned. I had plans for like all the stuff to go everywhere, right? All the crops come in here. I do got to go now. Thanks for reading through the blog post. See you in 7 days and 20 hours. It's on there. 7 days, 20 hours, 18 minutes and 51 seconds. Slikey, thanks so much for hanging out. We do appreciate it. Thanks for answering everybody's questions. And thanks for sharing a little bit about yourself. We appreciate it. Can we get W's in the chat for Slikey before he leaves? Can everybody give a big W Slikey in the chat? Got to let these guys know we appreciate them.